Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I hope you're all doing well as always. Today I am filming a video that I have been wanting to film for an extremely long time, and I've been waiting for the day that I can finally film this video since I was literally in middle school. So this is a very big monumental moment for me because I'm so happy to finally be able to share my skin journey, my Accutane journey, and just how I've come a really long way with my skin and all of the above. Before I get this video started, I just wanted to go ahead and say a few things. First of all, this is my skin journey. I am not trying to replace information that you can get from a dermatologist or from a skin specialist or from anyone that's actually trained to do this. I'm just sharing my story, things that worked for me, and my entire process throughout clearing my acne. I will also be inserting pictures throughout this entire video so you guys can really get the gist of everything that I'm going to be talking about, seeing examples and whatnot. And lastly, I really hope you guys enjoy this video, and I hope it really helps you guys out, because when I was struggling with my skin very much, I went online and I looked up so many of these types of videos. And yeah, so if you guys see me looking down, it's because I want to talk about so many different things. So I literally, like, you guys can see how much I wrote down. I want to make sure I don't leave anything out because there's so much information and so many things that I want to talk about. So let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so basically all of my skin issues basically started at the beginning of middle school. So like I would say 6th grade, I'm 18 now, and I started to get a lot of acne on my forehead, and it was basically all acne on my forehead for the beginning portion that I did have skin issues. I really didn't think much of it. I tried absolutely everything you could think of as a child. I went for drugstore products, I went for high-end products, I tried Curology, which did not work. I tried natural remedies, I did like coffee scrubs, I did lemon scrubs, which I highly regret doing because that is so abrasive to your skin. I just tried every single thing you can try out there. I even considered trying Proactive, and like, guys, when I'm telling you nothing worked, nothing worked. So I had skin issues basically this area for about 6th to 8th grade, and then when I started high school, it started getting a lot worse, to the point where it was starting to spread to my cheeks and all of this, and on my chest and my back, and it got to the point where I was like, I think I need to go see a dermatologist. So I went to the dermatologist and they're like, this is so common, like whatever. We're gonna give you a bunch of creams and you're going to go ahead and try it out for a few months and tell me what you think. So I'm gonna be honest, I don't really remember the exact names of the creams. It was just like 3 different creams. I think one of them was like a retinoid. I really don't remember, but I used them for a couple months. They were extremely drying and irritating to my skin, so my skin was like always red, always puffy. But after like 4 months of using it, my skin got a little bit better. Like, it didn't get completely cleared up, but it got a little bit better. So I had hope. I was like, if I keep using this, it's gonna eventually clear up. It has to, because that's what the doctor's telling me. And then when I tell you, all of a sudden, I mean like all of a sudden, 1 week to the next, it just stopped working. Like, it was for nothing, those months of using those creams, because I would apply it every night religiously, and I kept applying it even after it stopped working, and I was just breaking out more and more in this area on my cheeks. I still have scarring in that area, all over my forehead. It was just so bad, you guys. So I went back to the dermatologist and I'm like, hey, this isn't working anymore. So they're like, we're gonna go ahead and start you on antibiotics. And honestly, me and my mom weren't really the biggest fan of this because I didn't really want to put any medicine in my body. They didn't really have to. But when I tell you guys, I was so overwhelmed and so kind of in a point where I had given up, I was just like, I'm gonna try it. And they put me on amoxicillin for 3 months, and it did absolutely nothing. I was just nauseous every single time I took it, and I felt like throwing up all the time. And I took it for 3 months and nothing worked. So they're like, okay, so we're gonna give you doxycycline, which is like a more stronger version of the first one, is what they had told me. And again, just more nausea. Nothing worked. My skin just stayed the same, even got a little bit worse. It was just not working. On top of all these dermatologist products I was using, I was splurging on expensive brand products. Like, for example, this one I have right in front of my face, like this oil, Pharmacy, Kiehl's, like all of these expensive brands, you guys. Like, I put in money to this and time. Like, I would drive 1 hour to these doctor's appointments and nothing was working. Then after another 3 months of the doxycycline, I was like, you know what? I give up. I'm not doing this anymore. So I stopped going to dermatologists like cold turkey. I was like, I'm not going anymore. I give up. I just stopped paying attention to it. I just kept trying to have a skincare routine, and I used CeraVe products. My skin was still bad. Nothing was really working. I just kind of ignored it for a year. Like, I just stopped going to the dermatologist. And to kind of understand the time frame, this was the beginning of my sophomore year. So my entire sophomore year I just did not pay attention to my skin. And then around like September of my junior year, I decided to start keto, which I do not endorse because I feel like it's a very, very unhealthy diet, and on my channel I really like to promote a balanced diet and a healthy relationship with food, and I really feel like keto doesn't provide that, and it just kind of drains your body of nutrients that it really does need, like carbs. So yes, but if you guys have heard of keto, it's basically like you can't have carbs, and if you do know, carbs are sugar. So I was eating no sugar, like I cut out sugar from my diet for a good like 6 to 7 months, and when I tell you guys, like my skin cleared up, it cleared up, and I was like, wow, like this was the solution. Sugar, it's the sugar, it's the sugar, it's the carbs. And then, as many do know, when you start one of these extreme diets, they're not sustainable, and they literally can't last. Like, at least for me, they can't. I know it does work for some people, but it just didn't for me. And I stopped keto because it was just giving me a really unhealthy relationship with food. And the moment I started having carbs again, I was eating healthy, you guys. Like, I was eating whole foods, I was eating healthy. I just was having carbs and healthy carbs and fruits and stuff like that. I started to break out again, and it was just like a moment of wow, because I really had thought that my skin had gotten clear for good. And then that summer, so the summer before my senior year, I went to Peru, and I really unhealthy on that trip, so I had a lot of soda, and I never drink soda. Like, that's not in my diet, and I had a soda for the first time in like 5 years on that trip, and my skin just broke out, you guys. Like, I'm gonna insert pictures of how bad my skin got, and from that moment on it just got worse and worse. And like November of my senior year was when it got really bad, and that's when I was working at Starbucks, and just like my skin had never been so bad. Like, it was like cystic, guys. Like, it was so bad. It got to the point where I would not go anywhere, like anywhere, without putting on makeup, without putting on a full face. Like, I literally didn't want to go to the beach because I just thought about the idea of having to go in the water without covering up my skin. And yes, I had texture, so I don't even know what my point was, but I just felt like everywhere I went, people were staring at my face. And that's why when people say like, you're just over dramatic of thinking about your skin, like if you have skin issues, you know the feeling of like, I hate how I look and I feel like everybody's staring at my face. And that's why I constantly felt, and having people constantly be like, have you tried this, have you tried that, like that didn't help because I had tried everything. And then like your parents telling you like, oh my god, your skin's so bad. Like, I know, I see it every day in the mirror. So it just caused a very unhealthy cycle of self-confidence in my life. And then about December of my senior year, so about 8 months ago, I have a friend that went on Accutane, and she started telling me about her experience and how well it had gone. And I really had never really heard of Accutane, I think like here and then, and I never really researched it. So she told me about Accutane and how well it had gone for her. And then another one of my friends went on it, and another one of my friends. So I knew 3 people that had gone on Accutane. One of them, I believe he's still on it. That's when I went on my tangent of starting to research Accutane like crazy. I watched so many YouTube videos, I read so many things. Not gonna lie, I got a little bit scared because if you guys have been researching, probably you have because you clicked on this video, you see all the articles online saying that it causes depression, that it causes all these horrible things, but that it's also like the only drug out there that will clear your skin 100% sure. So I went through like a whole month of December just thinking like, should I do this? Should I put my body through this? But then I'll never have to worry about it again. And I was just like, oh my god, I don't know. So I talked to my mom about it, and I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna bring it up to my dermatologist. We're gonna go back to the dermatologist after like a year and a half of not going. When I go back, I'm gonna talk to her, and we're gonna see what we're gonna do, and we're gonna get her advice. So when I decided to go back to the dermatologist, I scheduled an appointment, and I was basically like 100% shut down. Like, she told me, your skin isn't bad enough for this, like you need to go on more antibiotics. And I was trying to explain to her like, I have already been through this whole process. Like, she thought that just because I had come like all of a sudden asking for Accutane, like I knew nothing about skin products and things that are used to treat skin. Like, I knew. I had been on this journey for years now. Like, I had been on all these antibiotics. I knew what it was. And she was just kind of like demeaning what I want to talk about, like interrupting me while I was talking. And I just felt very discouraged because if you guys know, when you start Accutane, you have to have tried 2 different antibiotics within the course of the last 6 months for the minimum of 1 month per antibiotic before you're actually allowed to start taking Accutane. So she told me, if you want to start Accutane, like you have to go back on these antibiotics. And I did not want to do that because Those were the antibiotics that I knew didn't work. I knew were messing with my body, with my digestion, making me want to throw up 24/7. But I was like, there's literally nothing else I can do other than go on these medications so that I can eventually get to Accutane. So first thing I did was switch to a different dermatologist in the office, because they have like, I think 10 different dermatologists in that office, just because she was just not supportive and she wasn't very informative either. So I switched and I started again on amoxicillin, and again, same thing, nausea, didn't work. Another month of doxycycline, because you have to have a different one for a different month, and didn't work. And then after that month finally finished, so February, because January 1 month, February another month, end of February, I went to the appointment, I think it was February 21st, and I was finally given the paperwork to start Accutane. And in this paperwork, there's basically like an entire giant booklet of like you signing your life away to Accutane, saying all the side effects, all the things that could possibly happen to you, explaining all the horrible things that this drug can bring to your body. And not gonna lie, it's a little scary like signing that line, but I just knew I was ready for it. Like I was so done, you guys, with feeling like ugly. Like I'm not even saying, like I felt ugly 24/7. So I was just done. I was like, I'm gonna do it. And I did it and I signed it. And the thing is that you can't just sign it and like automatically get it. You have to sign all the paperwork and then sign up for this program called I Pledge, because the big thing while you're on Accutane is that you can't get pregnant, because it is basically like 100% chance that your child will have severe birth defects. So you have to put on a paper every month and renew it every month with your dermatologist and say 2 different forms of birth control or abstinence. So you basically have to confirm your birth control method every month, and you have to take a pregnancy test every month and do a blood draw so they could check your cholesterol levels, because that's a big thing that could be affected while you're on Accutane, and your liver, all the things of your liver. So that was also a bit scary for me because I'm not a fan of needles, but honestly 5 months later here I am, and I've kind of gotten used to it, kind of, because I've literally had to get my blood taken out every month, and that's just gonna come along in the story, but let's not get off track. So in that appointment, signed all the paperwork, signed up for iPledge, took a pregnancy test, and got my little paper for the lab work. And then a couple weeks later I took out my blood. Then I had another appointment a few weeks later, and that is when I finally got approved to start Accutane, because they had to check my blood work, they had to check my pregnancy test, they just had to make sure that my body was ready to start the drug. And when I had that appointment, my blood work came out with low iron, so I didn't know I was anemic. So they basically told me, since your iron is low, we're gonna start you on only 20 milligrams. And to finish Accutane, you have to take 10,000 milligrams. So if you do the math, the less amount of milligrams you take per day, the longer you're gonna be on the drug. So I knew I was gonna be on the drug for a long time just because I was starting so low. Some people literally start at like 40 to 60 milligrams, and I was starting so low. So that was another thing that was worrying me. But again, I'm like, I'm just gonna trust her and do it, because like I'm not down to stress about this right now. And I remember the exact day that I took my first pill of Accutane, because I literally wrote it down in my calendar. It was March 2nd, 2020. And another thing that I forgot to say as well is that every month after your doctor's appointment, where they check your pregnancy test, your blood test, your blood work, ask you your symptoms, all of those things, after your appointment you have to log into your iPledge online and take like a little quiz, like kind of like testing your knowledge on the facts, and where you have to confirm your birth control methods. And then after you do all of that, then you can go pick up your medication at the pharmacy. I also had problems with my insurance, that they didn't want to approve the drug, and Accutane is extremely expensive, so it also took a couple of days to try and figure out for my insurance to cover the drug, but they ended up covering it. It was just a big mess at the beginning for me to actually get my hands on the medication. But yes, then I finally went to the pharmacy and I picked up my first thing of Accutane, and this is what it looks like. It's a little thing. This brand is Amneal. I know there's a lot of different brands, but this is the 20 milligram one, and it just comes like this. You take one every day, you know, you just pop it out, and here it tells you like all the things that can go wrong, like the birth defects and stuff like that. But yes, so this is a 20 milligram one, and it comes with 3 of these 10 packs, so for 30 days. And the first month, which was March, my skin basically got worse because all of the grossness was just coming out of my skin. Like that's what Accutane does, basically dries you out. So all the oil was coming out. I was like purging for a good like 2 weeks in March. So again, very, very discouraging. But I really didn't have any side effects. Like I wasn't even dry the first month. So I was like, damn, these people are being dramatic, saying that they have all these side effects. Like I'm here chilling. Well, I spoke too soon, you guys, because that was just the first month. Second month comes around, which is April, and I'm still on 20 milligrams because my iron is, again, still too low. So I have it written down just so that I wouldn't forget. I've been writing down every month what I feel. So the second month, my skin finally started to clear up a little bit. It didn't clear up completely, but it cleared up a lot. I also started to get headaches, dry lips, and when it's not like a chapped lip, you guys, it's like all around, like all of this, your lips break and they bleed. I also had extremely dry eyes and I wear contacts, so I had to buy these lubricating eye drops because you guys, like I would blink and my contact one day literally fell out of my eyeball. Like that's how dry my eyes got. My nose got super dry, my lips were dry, and my face itself never got dry. Like up to this day, it's never gotten dry, but my body, like I have to apply baby oil every single night, CeraVe, healing ointment, and Aquaphor because of how dry like my arms, my legs, like would flake, you guys. Like my stomach and my thighs, like my butt literally would hurt and itch of how dry it is, and how, I'm not saying it was because like it still is, but you know. Another big thing that happened my second month, this was like the only side effect that only happened for like 1 month, and it was that my hair was so dry and it started to scare me because it was literally just like breaking off, guys. Like, and I love my hair, so the fact that my hair was getting affected, I was like but I was taking biotin supplements, and I still do take biotin supplements, and I was taking them even before I started this whole thing. So I feel like that's another reason why I bounced back pretty quickly from that side effect. But who knows, you know, maybe it's just how the drug works. All of this is a real big mystery. And another very big side effect that started in April was that I was getting so anxious, you guys. Like literally I would get so anxious for everything, on top of the fact that this was all happening during coronavirus and the fact that I was a senior this year and everything kind of went downhill for me. Adding Accutane on top of all of that was just not the best for me, not the best for my mental health, but gladly that went away in June. So I would say in June that kind of went away. But honestly, that was one of the worst parts about it, like constantly feeling anxious on top of the fact of like your body constantly feeling like itchy and gross. It was just not it. And that month my cholesterol went up 3 points, so love that. And this is also when Corona really just like blew up, so all of my doctor's visits went online, so I had to show my pregnancy test through like a camera, but I still had to do my blood test in person. So that kind of changed as well. And yeah, it was just different because I had to talk to my dermatologist through camera. It wasn't really the same as like being there in person and her being able to see my skin. You know, seeing your skin in person is very different than seeing like me through a camera right now. It's just not the same. But yes, that was the second month. That was April. I was still on 20 milligrams. Moving on to the third month, which is May. Still on 20 milligrams, you guys. This is by the point where people are already at like 60 milligrams, but I just was really trying not to compare my story to others because my body was just reacting extremely sensitive to the drug. That's what my dermatologist was saying. She's like, you're just reacting very sensitively to this medication, so like we just want to play it safe and keep you at 20 milligrams. So by the third month, which is May, my skin was completely clear. Like clear, like I've never had my skin in my life other than as a child, like elementary school, you guys. I still have scars because they say that the scars don't go away until you're done with the medication, just because that's when the oil starts coming back, and the oils would kind of like heals your skin. But third month is when I started getting, I think, the worst side effect of all, and it was dizziness. Guys, I would get up from my bed and I would literally black out, like black out. And I'm not the only one that had this side effect. I talked to one of my friends that's on it as well, and he said he like fell down the stairs because he literally just like got so dizzy. So that's another thing, like I had to be really careful when I was getting up or moving too fast or like looking up at the lights, because I would just want to like fall back. Like really scary, you guys. Like I had never experienced that in my life, of just blacking out, like not being able to see. I couldn't hear, very scary. But when I did talk to my dermatologist about that side effect, she basically told me I was extremely dehydrated, and Accutane dehydrates you so much. So if you're not drinking enough water, you're literally, your body is not going to be able to handle it, just because it's so much, on top of the fact that you are not drinking enough water. So she's like, whatever amount of water you were drinking, double that. And if you guys know me, I drink a lot of water. So I was drinking a lot of water at this point, doubling what I was drinking. But when I did start drinking more water, the next month I didn't have dizziness. That was just like a 1 month thing for me. But yes, back to 3rd month update. This month, my blood results were insane, you guys. Like, my cholesterol was high 11 points. My triglycerides were high 8 points. And my hemoglobin, iron, was low 1 point still. And this was really frustrating just because I was eating the healthiest I've ever eaten at this time, and I still am. Healthiest, you guys, like, I mean, I'm like cutting dairy, adding fiber supplements, adding omega-3, fish oil, like cutting out red meat completely. I was eating so healthy, still am eating this way. And the fact that my blood results weren't reflecting that was really frustrating. But my dermatologist did reassure me that it's because of the drug, it's a side effect, it's not because of what I'm eating specifically, but to keep eating healthy, because if you don't eat healthy on top of the Accutane, it's just gonna be like adding on top, on top, on top stresses to your body. So I have been eating healthy just so I can feel better and, you know, not have such a bad effect, kind of like balance it out in my body. So yes, again, at this point, I quit dairy for the most part, except for like yogurt. I cut out all red meats, I doubled my omega-3 fish oil vitamins, and I included fiber supplements every single day in the mornings into my healthy diet routine. Now guys, 4th month, which was June, which was last month, we finally got to 30 milligrams. And this was Clarivis. I will put a picture in of what she looked like. Guys, Clarivis, I really think should have another name for the devil, because I don't know if it was the brand that this one was, or if it was the fact that it was a higher dosage. My body did not like this drug, this dosage. It was just not it, guys. This month I had the worst joint pain. Like, I couldn't even like squat down because my knees were in so much pain, my ankles, my elbows, like, guys, it was really bad and it hurt so bad. Like, I would work out and I just couldn't work out. Like, I literally had to lessen how much I was working out throughout the weeks because I just literally, like, my knees especially, guys, like, I would go down and be like because there's no oil. Like, your body is basically not producing any more oil, so you're just dry. You're a dry ball. I also had dry lips, but to like a level that I've never had dry lips in my life, you guys. Like, from here to like down here, bleeding, like bleeding. It was so bad. Didn't matter how much Aquaphor I put, how much CeraVe I put. Horrible, you guys, like bad. And another big thing that was, again, another one of the top worst side effects was brain fog. Like, I would be doing something and I was like, what was I gonna do? Like, I would just think about it and I'm like, what am I doing? Like, I have never experienced that, guys. I literally felt dumb. Like, I'm not exaggerating. I felt dumb. I felt like I forgot what I was doing all the time. I was so confused. Like, I have never experienced brain fog to that point. And the only good thing about this month was that, I guess since I like changed the brand or whatever, my anxiety got better, my hair got better, and my cholesterol went up 6 points, but it got better because the month before it had gone up 11 points, but my triglycerides went up 1 more point. So, you know, it was kind of like, you fix 2 things, you get worse 2 things. So it's like 2 steps forward, 1 step back, whatever you want to call it. So after I went ahead and had my visit that month with my doctor, she told me, like, brain fog and joint pain should not be something you're having so much, so we're gonna go ahead and put you back on 20 milligrams. And that's why I had the 20 milligrams to show you guys, because I'm currently taking this right now. And honestly, I've just stopped fighting it. Like, however long I'm gonna have to be on it, I'm gonna have to be on it. I just really don't want it to come back, and I don't want to bombard my body with such a high dosage if it really can't take it. So right now we're in July and I am on my 5th month of Accutane, and as you can see, my skin is 100% clear. I just have scarring here, but this month I've just had the worst dry skin and dry patches on my arms and on my, like, this part of my body, like here, my torso, and it's literally eczema. You can't really see it in this lighting, but you can see, like, it's literally like raised patches of dryness. So it's basically like eczema, and you can see there's a really big one right there. You can kind of see it. I might try to insert some more clear pictures for you guys, but I've been putting CeraVe healing ointment, I've been putting Aquaphor, guys. Nothing has been helping my dry patches, my eczema. It's been a struggle, and it's so itchy and uncomfortable. Like, you can't touch it because it's like red and raised. I've never experienced eczema in my life until now, and eczema is a side effect of Accutane, so that's something you should consider. And this month I've just basically noticed that you literally can't be in the sun. Like, if you're in the sun, you will get these dry patches, you will be in pain, it will be itchy. Like, you have to drench yourself in sunscreen before you decide to go out. And honestly, I would just rather wear like a long sleeve shirt than have to put sunscreen every 5 minutes, because you still will get burnt even if you put sunscreen. If you guys are wondering like the skin products I've been using, feel free to watch my previous vlogs, because on there I really like show you guys my favorite Accutane products. I have a whole video dedicated to that, so go ahead and check that out. But literally I can't leave the house without wearing sunscreen, not even just on my face but all over my body, because I will get those very uncomfortable patches. But my skin is extremely clear, and I have never had this confidence in my entire life, you guys. Like, I'm not even exaggerating. And I never thought I would love just being without makeup. Like, right now I'm wearing, what is this called, mascara and blush, and that's it, and lip gloss. And I just never in my life thought I was gonna be so confident just going out without having anything on my skin, without having like a buttload of concealer. And even though I have had a lot of negative experiences concerning Accutane, I just feel like it's extremely worth it, and I'd do it all over from the beginning again if I had to, because it has completely changed my life. Like, I know it sounds dramatic, but if you are someone out there struggling with your skin right now, just know that like I understand what you're feeling, that feeling of constantly feeling like you're just not enough to like look at yourself or go out without makeup. And I wish I would have told myself, like, don't think that. Your skin does not define you, and it never should. It's just, I know how you feel. They just feel like you're being judged by what's on your face, and I understand that feeling, because I would feel that every single day, going to school, having to go out, having to wake up 1 hour early because I would literally kick my face before school. Like, I understand what you're feeling. And I do still have many months to go on Accutane, because I'm still on 20 milligrams, I'm only month 5. But I will continue to update you guys. I might do another whole video like this, updating you guys on my Accutane journey and what has changed. And maybe I'll do one at the end when I finish, you know, kind of summing everything up for you guys. And I did want to include some things that have helped me, and it's basically water and sunscreen. If you have those two things, your experience will be so much better. And it is hard to deal with all of these things, knowing that you're just purposely doing this for yourself. It does kind of feel like vain, you know, like you're, oh, doing this to look better. But it's just, it's so much deeper than that, you guys, and it's 100% worth it in my opinion, even though I've had horrible side effects. Some people don't even get side effects, and some people get horrible side effects. I think I've been on like the pretty bad but not that bad spectrum of it all. And honestly, my skin has always been my biggest insecurity, so the fact that I've been able to fix this has just really changed my life, you guys. And yeah, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you guys have any other questions about my Accutane / skin journey, feel free to message me on Instagram. I will help you guys out. I will, any questions you have, or just comment them down below if you guys don't really care other people seeing them. But yeah, please do not forget to subscribe to my channel for more videos like this in the future. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I'm like thirsty from how much I've talked, but thank you so much if you stuck around till the end. I hope you guys continue to have a great day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.